What is up, y'all? We're having another with Espo. It's Wednesday. I've got an orange. I think y'all know what that means. If you don't, that's cool. Welcome. First time? Hi. It's Whiskey Wednesday. We're having some whiskey. Last Whiskey Wednesday, I didn't do anything. I skipped it. This is what it is. I don't get paid to do this. This is for fun, and I have fun doing it, so I keep doing it. But again, this is for fun. I don't really hold a schedule. The week before, also because I don't get paid doing this, but I screwed up and my microphone cut out about halfway through the whiskey haul video. That's gonna happen sometimes because I'm not very good at this. But to recap that, let's start over a little bit. We had the big obligatory bottle of Blanton's because I love Blanton's. If it's there, I'm gonna get it because I really like it and it's hard to get, and I get a chance to get it about once a year. The Canadian wannabe bottle of Blanton's, Caribou Crossing, again pretty tasty. Probably not worth the money. If it was like a $60 bottle, yeah. But I feel like way too much went into this for $99, especially when Blanton's itself is going for what, 76? I think it was 76 on the dot. Anyway, lovely whiskey haul. Drove to Ancaster. It was a delightful time. I'm going to do this in a little bit of a reverse order. I don't know where it cut off exactly. I think it was right before the green bottle, but we're not going to do that one first. I didn't have a chance to get the bottle I was really, really looking for. A buddy of mine did. There was some E.H. Taylor small batch available. Problem was, by the time I got the email saying that the Sazerac drop was happening, they were gone because I got it about 10:30. LCBO opens up at 10. And yeah, they were gone by 10:29, apparently. I was asking the nice lady there. She was really helpful. Other than that, great time. I got a bottle of Eagle Rare. This was 66.10, I think it was. It's another Buffalo Trace one. Apparently, it's got the same mash bill as Blanton's. It's just not single barrel. There's been some conjecture on what that means. It used to be a single barrel, but I think they just don't stop filling barrel to barrel, despite the fact. So there might be a chance of it not being single barrel, but it mostly is. At least that's the rumor. I don't really know. I could be very wrong on that front. I'm super excited to try it. Everyone that knows me and knows about this thinks I'm going to really like it. I think I'm going to really like it. Again, super excited to try it out. But that's not why we're here today. We are here for these two, which are bottles that I never thought I would have, partially because they're hard to find, and partially because... Where's the other one? There it is. Partially because, well, I just didn't really like this one when I tried it the first time. There is a local cocktail bar. Well, it's a distillery, but they have a great cocktail bar. That's Man's Botanical Spirits. We've got them on the splash pad here. They don't pay me. I just have a lot of their stuff. Yeah, some of the bitters. A lot of the gin. Great place. Here in Brantford, go hang out. Have a good time. The drinks are fun. People are fun. Great little atmosphere. And they've got some nice snacks now, too. Gotta love a good snack. This is the Weller Reserve. The original wheated bourbon. Every time I say that, I'm going to check the mic now just because I'm getting a little paranoid. 90 proof. Very much Kentucky product. Where else are we going? Yep, Louisville, Kentucky products. Weller Special Reserve. That's the green bottle. Pretty standard. If you're going to see Weller in places, this is usually what you're going to see, especially if you see it in a bar. The next up, the Weller Antique 107. Also, your original wheated bourbon. They got to make up their mind. This one, because no one really pulls a muscle naming these things, 107 proof. Ta-da! Again, Louisville, Kentucky, W.L. Weller. Didn't really read too much there. I actually cracked into this one for the first time a couple nights ago. Monday night, I think it was. Was feeling a little scratchy. Thought I should just try something, and I was really wanting to try this. Yeah, I've got some notes. I took down some notes. Let's see if they're similar today. I'm going to see what I can pick out and then read off my board what I have written down from last time around. This one, when I tried it, I got a feeling I wasn't in a whiskey mood. Didn't love it. I've got into it a little bit since. Didn't love the bottle down at Man's. I think I just Just wasn't in the right headspace, wasn't in the right mouth space. Is that a way to put it? I think that might be the way to put it. I don't know. Either way, we're going to test these two. We're going to grab my whiskey book, which is over here, and see what we can find difference-wise, and see if it's worth the extra, what was it? This was 45. This was 73, 72.90 something, I think, at the LCBO. Sazerac drop, delightful time, a couple weeks back. I think, I don't know. We're going to find out. I'm going to test again in real time. Whichever one wins, that's going to be our old-fashioned target. Let's see how it goes. Because they're both under 100, and I only have one really big ice ball today. These things happen. Whiskey book. Now, clearly I've been planning because I didn't actually go ahead and write these down yet, so I'm going to pop these in. Super great filming. Weller 107. They're both bourbons. Again, wheated mash bill. Again, that just means there is wheat added to the mash bill, so typically bourbon, at least 51% corn. I think these are 70-some. Could be wrong. And the rest is usually filled in with malted barley and rye. These ones, and many others, also have wheat. Typically, that's supposed to sweeten it up. I didn't used to find that being the case. Actually, again, the first time I tried this one, I was terrified because another wheated bourbon I'm dying to try, obviously it's a wish list, is Pappy. Pappy's a wheated bourbon. I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I can afford to take a look at what do they sell for? $300 MSRP and somewhere in the range of $3,000 if you find them on secondary. Yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse for wanting to try something, even just trying a shot and not liking it. There we are. Since then, tried this, loved it. Decided I was going to have, just try it out again, give it a second chance, and it really just tickled my fancy. It was what I was wanting to drink that night. It was really tasty. I got the sweetness. It wasn't just harsh, almost rye-heavy bourbon that I was expecting, or that I remember from the first time around. Again, I think I just had an empty stomach that day and wasn't in a great whiskey spot. Weird. But anyway, we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at these two. Got the Weller Reserve and the Weller Antique 107. Give that a little glug. Up to the bell. Got our Glencairns here. I'm going to fill all these in after, but I'm just going to write down my notes as we go. Ooh, an actual cork. That's going to do some good things. Let these breathe for a minute. And do some sniffing. What do you say? Why don't you join me? We're doing some whiskey comparisons. And I am not sophisticated enough to do a really good job of this, but I'm going to do my best. Because this is mainly, again, for fun. So, the Weller Reserve. 90 proof. Let's take a sniffle. I got a feeling I'm going to get a lot of the same things off of these two. I'm getting a lot of cherry almost off that. Yeah, cherry, vanilla, a little bit of almond. Kind of going as we go here. Obviously some burnt sugar in there. It's a bourbon. It's going to smell bourbonish. Smells wonderful. Don't want to get burnt out. What's the trick? Smell your arm. That's the reset, I think. Smell your own skin. That's supposed to reset your nosy and then see if you're smelling things again. What else am I getting there? I don't know. I don't rightly know. Let's try another. Let's try the 107. Little reset on the arm. So this is a higher proof. I'm going to taste this one second so I don't burn myself out. I've already kind of prepped myself a little bit of long ranch. That falls at 43. That should get the palate started off. A very similar color on these two. A little bit darker on the 107, but not by much. Hmm. I'm getting like almost an astringent flavor, or not flavor, scent to it, like kind of a not soap, but like that feeling you get when you smell hospital soap. Doesn't smell soapy per se. Write that down. It's some of that. I got some of that last night. I'm kind of falling back already to what I smelled or on Monday night. Very sweet, a little bit of citrus, a little bit of fruit. I'm gonna go back to what I wrote down. Let's see, sweet fruity caramel. Yeah, I'm getting some of that. Yeah, like almost a berry kind of sweet, almost a wine sweet smell without smelling like wine. With replacing the wine with it doesn't make any damn sense. Doesn't have to. Whatever. Some cinnamon, some orange peel. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. We're gonna let you sit for a sec. It's tasting time. So, Weller Reserve, 90 proof, out of the Buffalo Trace Brewer or distilleries. That is very smooth. That is so. I know I've described some whiskeys as hot. This one feels kind of cool. It's got a cool kind of mouthfeel to it. A little bit of smoke on the middle part of that. I'll throw that down. A little bit lighter than I was expecting. Still decent whiskey burn at the end. Kind of a tobacco finish. Write that down. That sounds smart. Good job, Espo. Still kind of smoky, kind of sweet on the back end. Still getting some of that vanilla. Take a little quick drink of water here, see if we can refresh that. Give a rinse. Delightful. Some of that fruitiness there, but it's still very smoky. Huh. I like it a lot. I don't. I remember hating it. That's the thing. I remember hating it, and I also tried. What's the name? Cave Hill Rabbit Hole. Was that the one? I might have it backwards. I remember distinctly hating that one, just thinking it was gasoline. It was a $90 whiskey. I was debating buying it at the time, and I very much didn't because I tried it and hated it. I might have to give it another chance. It might be one I have to go revisit because I really like this one now. A little bit of what is that? A little creaminess, a little creme brulee on that on the back end, like that kind of feel. Huh? That's really tasty. Pop the date down. Remember. Oh, all right. That was the Weller was it Special Reserve? Weller Special Reserve. Decent whiskey for 45 bucks. I'm not upset with it at all. That's 45 Canadian, by the way, in case anyone's watching out of country. If we are the election results in yet? Because they're still kind of up in the air. They're not really, but they're still kind of up in the air right now. Hmm. See, I like the nose on this one more, but based on what I was sipping the other night, I think I'm gonna like the palate on this a little better. This one comes off a little. definitely a little hotter. This was a very cool drink. This is much hotter. Um, no rhyme or reason to that. Again, just kind of a feel thing. A little more water on that. I haven't tried this one on ice yet, and I think I'm going to today just to kind of see what it brings out. Very smoky. Not very smoky. It's not like scotchy smoky, but there's definite smoke flavor to it. But not just like regular wood smoke, almost like the smoke you get off of. Yeah, there it is. I'm just going right to what I wrote down. Honey smoked ham is what I wrote down, which is ridiculous to say, except having tried this, it's got that kind of smoky flavor to it, like an aged smoked cheddar has, or an aged or a smoked ham has, like that kind of smoke where the smoke is a little bit sweeter. It is right there. There's some honey. There's some cinnamon. I wrote down raspberry vanilla. That seems clever. I'm gonna write that down here too, because why not? Uh, honey. Again, cinnamon. A little bit of cinnamon in there, or like cinnamon honey almost. I wrote down red berries on Monday, and beside it, when I wrote all this down, I said cherry question mark, and I don't think it's very all that cherryish. I think I'm sticking closer to raspberry. That kind of finish. Uh, the sweetness reminds me a little bit, like the sugary sweetness, kind of reminds me of a Nanaimo bar, if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, I feel sorry for you. You should know what a Nanaimo bar tastes like. Also, one of the things my Nana can't say. She'd come out with my Nanaimo bar. Hi, Nana. Love you. You're not watching, because please God don't. I swear too much in this. I'm going to say that in there, because that sounds awesome. And almost like I know what I'm talking about. I don't, but I think I'm getting there. Raspberry vanilla. Yeah, I like that. It's like vanilla cream with a hint of raspberry, a little bit of Nanaimo bar finish. It's like a vanilla chocolate coconutty thing. You need to try one to know what the hell I'm talking about. Speaking of which, Nanaimo bar, absolutely the best flavor of Bailey's. No comparison is what it is. Runner up, biscotti flavored. Best ones in your coffee. Take it from old Espo here. Oh, there we have it. I really thought this was going to be a runaway. I really liked what the special reserve was putting out today. Again, I think it might have just been the mood I was in. Might have been just what I've eaten today. Who's to say? Don't know. I've got a couple of cookies upstairs from Valentino's. I'm very excited about. Probably going to go pair one of these with the rest of this. That's pretty delicious. This is still really good. I don't know if it's $30 better good. It might be. It might be. Prettier on the nose. More complex. We're going to try this over ice and see if that changes anything up a little bit. Murder glasses. Oop, found one. Got. Pour in. Give it a swirl. Let that ice and whiskey meld in together. See if we pull out anything else off the nose. I know it seems unfair that I'm not doing this exactly the same. Old special reserve here isn't getting the chance to be on ice. It doesn't really need it. It's a lower proof. This might open up the bigger number on the proof side anyway. Ooh, definitely brings out the sweetness, brings out the fruitiness a lot more in the smell, in the sniff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, there's that sweet creaminess. That's huge. Oh, that opens up on ice. Yeah, this might be the winner. I know it's not fair. You should have had your chance on ice too, but I don't have another ice ball handy. Because planning. Planning not good. They've been trying to freeze for a couple hours now. Still slushy. That's not going to make for good whiskey. That's fantastic. Love that for me. Oh. Well, time for yet another game of Will It Old Fashioned. Don't you know we just don't have any damn Willets. So we're just going to try to old fashioned it as we go. Forgot this was a cork. Grab a little bit of hand flavored ice. Definitely still frozen and not melty at all. 2 ounces of bourbon. We're going to go a little heavy because that's clearly diluted already. Down you go. 1/4 ounce of our strong simple syrup because that is tradition. 1/4 ounce in. Oh, that is with raw sugar, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. Got our 1 dash of orange bitters. Again, as is tradition. Boop. 1 dash of Ango, because we don't want to screw with this. Boop. Ango is all over the place. Hate to watch a good bitter spill, but here we are. A spoon. I do have a spoon. Give that a good spin. Oh, so how's everyone's weekend? Sal and I went down to the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair in Toronto over the weekend. Wow. Which is just like a regular fair, except there's way more. And it's inside, and it's cold. But there's a lot of vendors, a lot of food. Had a great time doing all that. Get to that in a second. Let's see, time to find out. Will it old fashioned? We need our orange peel. Cat is making herself known up there. Very orangey. That tastes like candy. Oh my god. 1/4 ounce might have been too much. I think I gotta switch down to a bar spoon. That tastes like nothing. Oh, but in the best way. Just. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Sugar and bitter shouldn't change whiskey this much. I like whiskey already. I love this. I love an old fashioned. Oh, that's so clean. And it's right back there. It's got all the good flavors. The smoke's coming through. That meatiness is coming through. That fruitiness is coming through. But the orange and the sugar just, elevate that to new levels. Love it. Love an old fashioned. Again, one of my favorite cocktails because it's so chucking easy. Oh, so good. Well, anyway, like I was saying, over the weekend, we were down at the fair, at the Royal, as my ex used to call it, at the Royal Winter Fair, as I grew up knowing it as, because there was always horse shows and cows. I like cows. Cows are cool. Really cool. We always had dairy. Well, some of my family had dairy farms growing up. There was a place where I got chatting. I got a little chatty. Crazy, right? Espo got chatty. Damnedest thing. There was a vendor called Wild Muskoka Botanicals, and they seemed like just such cool people. So I was shooting the shit with them for a minute, and I asked if I could try some of their bitters, and obviously they were a booth. They were down for it, and they gave me a huge story with each one, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna buy some of these bitters. They're fantastic. They're really cool. We started off with the spiced maple, which was absolutely fantastic. Wild cherry rose, which is a little bit of a departure, but I think is going to go great in one of my sweet martinis. Mushroom and cocoa, Sounds weird. Also, tastes delicious. Probably going to be fantastic over ice cream. We're going to see what happens. I've got a couple of ideas for this sucker. And charred cedar, which is going to just mess up an old fashioned like you wouldn't believe. I think this is going to be fantastic in a gin drink or two. Um, I'm going to have some fun with these. Apparently, all of this is hand foraged. Let's see, ingredients on the mushroom and cocoa: water, alcohol, extracts of reishi, chaga, cocoa, cinnamon, burdock, and maple syrup. So cool. I think they forage for most of their product. It's really cool. I don't know. Anyway, they just seemed like really cool people. I'm gonna hit them up. Wild Muskoka, super cool place. If I'm up there, I'm definitely checking them out again. This wasn't enough time to have as much fun as I wanted to with all their stuff. They gave me a bunch of tips, and when I bought all these bitters, they also loaded me up with a bunch of recipe cards with the corresponding bitters I bought. As soon as I started putting these in the bag, the girl, again, I didn't get anyone's name because I'm super smart that way. But the girl behind the counter was like going through her index book, pulling these things out. So we got a dark and smoky. It's a dark and stormy with the charred cedar bitters. Smoky blueberry mojito. Probably could do a mojito too, but mocktails are always in vogue. Why not? Blueberry mojito sounds fantastic. Muskoka maple, dockside iced coffee. That's gonna be fantastic. Mrs. Kitzel, not even getting into that one for a minute. Applebaum, wild Muskoka mule, raspberry Bellini mocktail, wild heat spritz, wild cherry whiskey sour. I think we've got about 4 weeks worth of content here, kids. We're gonna be trying some of these out for the next little bit because I'm dying to try these out in a cocktail, and I'm not gonna just make a bunch in one night and drink them all because I'm not 19 anymore, and as stupid as I was then. Because otherwise, yeah, definitely would. These sound like a lot of fun. I'm super excited to tuck into them. You know my plan for the next little bit. That's what's going to be happening. This was Whiskey Wednesday. We had another with Espo. We had a couple with Espo, actually. We had a bunch tonight. That was a fair amount of whiskey. And I'm not upset about it in the least. It was all really tasty. It was all really fun. I got to show off my bottles again. So that was real fun. The Leafs won last night. Even more fun. Gotta love beating Boston. Wild Muskoka Botanicals. If you're out that way, check them out. They're out in Dwight, Ontario. No idea where the hell that is. Got a sneaking suspicion I'm going to make a road trip at some point. But yeah, seems like a great bunch of people. Check them out. This was the Weller Day. Will it hold fashion? Yeah, it did. Damnedest thing. It almost always does. Fuck, that's good. Have a good one, y'all. Cheers.